It's me doing an airplane. Did you get... Okay, you probably know what the topic of today is going to be. It's going to be Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 or 2024. I don't know. That's what today is all about. I definitely have my opinions. Man, have I been trying desperately to make 2024 work. And in a lot of ways it has. And in some ways it absolutely has not. I'm Jolly Julian. Welcome to the channel, and please hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy anything that you see here. Let's run the logo before we fly. All right. Well, that was the logo, and it flew, which is more than I can say for myself sometimes in Microsoft 2024. This is not news to most of you if you're already on the bandwagon. You've probably been trying to fly in Microsoft 2024, either flat screen or in virtual reality since it dropped a week or two ago. And to varying success, as have I. I did not try it the day it dropped because I was hearing all the horror stories and I just didn't want to be sitting around for 8 hours waiting to get into the flight sim. So you know what I did? I got in 2020 and flew around while the rest of the people just were sitting there looking at loading screens. However, a few days later, when things seemed to calm down and people were having more luck getting in, I decided to give it a try for myself. So what I'm doing here is I'm popping into the flight sim in 2020, and I'm going to be flying in the same location in 2020 and in 2024, and talking about what I'm experiencing, showing you that on the screen. I've got a nice high-end PC, only 32 gigs of RAM, so, you know, that is a little bit of an issue. I wish I had 64, but I've got a 4090 graphics card on there and a high-end processor, so that thing should be humming along. But in virtual reality, as you well know, you got to bump some of those graphics down. You got to do some things even with a 4090 because virtual reality is a real hog, and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and 2024 are about as big as it gets when it comes to experiences and the drain it's going to have on your computer and your sanity. Let's jump into Microsoft 2020, the OG. It's hard to think of that as the OG flight simulator now, you know? Thinking about where Microsoft Flight Simulator started all those years ago, and where it is now with 2020, even it's hard to think of that as the OG, but it kind of is because it's the one that really made us feel like this is a simulator that we can really get behind the realism of it. 2024 is promised to be even better, but let's see how they stack up. All right, so here we are in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I'm flying out of Aspen, K-A-S-E. I'm going to fly out of there during the day. I'm going to be using the Cessna, the regular Cessna. I'm going to use the same plane on both simulators, of course. And we're going to be flying at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I want to make sure that I fly at the same rough time there on both of them. And we're going to have scattered clouds set for this. I want to be flying in scattered clouds. I just like the lighting of that. And the wind I took down to about only 2 miles per hour. So here we go. It's loading up right now. I'm very anxious to see how the two of these compare. All right, so here we are in Aspen. I'm going to click on Ready to Fly. We're right on the runway. I'm already looking around. Having done a lot of 2024 lately, I already noticed that this just looks, the contrast looks better here. I don't know if those are settings I can change, but I didn't notice any major changes for contrast and things like that. But anyway, let's go ahead and take off. This is running very smoothly. I am running this with asynchronous space warp turned on in virtual desktop. And I think I'm running with only TAA for the anti-aliasing within the game itself because I don't like how fuzzy DLSS is making things for me even with the sharpening on. I just don't like that, so I'm running with TAA right now. We're going to go ahead and take off. Looking around, everything seems pretty smooth here. I don't know how smooth it looks on the recording to you, but to me in the headset, this looks very, very smooth. The video seems to be showing that as well. All right, so we're taking off. Buildings, trees, everything. Again, I'm flying out in nature here, so we're really looking mostly at the nature. The clouds look fantastic. Even the haze kind of in the distance looks great. And the trees look much better than I thought they would in comparison to 2024, because that was one of the big selling points for 2024, were the improved trees and so forth. But, you know, hey, we won't be too picky about that. But here we are. Everything is running smoothly. That's the main thing I want to look at is, you know, what's the frame rate looking like? How smooth is everything? The plane is handling very well. That is, spoiler alert, a little issue I've been having with 2024, so we'll get to that in a second here. We are just flying over the terrain, looking at the road off to the left. We've got the vehicles there that are moving along, which I've always really liked about this simulator, is how alive it feels in comparison to other simulators I've used over the years that made everything feel kind of dead and not like a lot of life was going on. This is great. It's one of the reasons I like 2024 is with the addition of all the animals and everything, and supposedly more traffic both in the air and on the ground. But everything's looking really great here. Very smooth reactions, my head turning, everything looks fairly smooth. The crispness of the dashboard, everything. And again, the contrast is what's really noticeable to me here. The contrast looks really great, whereas in 2024 it tends to look a little bit more washed out to me. Control of the plane is wonderful. I'm noticing that it just seems to be flying very effortlessly. I don't think I have any settings different on 2020 than I do in 2024 as far as assists and things like that. But I know that 2024 has been having some issues with turbulence that they're supposedly going to be fixing coming up here with a major update that they're going to be dropping next week. So we'll see what happens with that. But right now, I'm really liking how the plane is handling much better in 2020 so far than 2024. Yada, yada, yada. We're flying! This just makes me so happy. Just whether it's 2020 or 2024, I just love that we have a simulator like this, and in virtual reality, I cannot tell you how incredible it is, how incredibly immersive it is. I just can't imagine flying any other way than flying in virtual reality and looking around and seeing everything. It's so cool. Ah, I love it. All right, here we go. We're coming in for a landing. Hey, now, all right. Don't judge, okay? Don't judge. I'm not a professional pilot. I know that shocks you. I know that surprises you. I mean, look at this. I mean, doesn't this look like the face of a pilot? No, I'm not a pilot, but hey, you know what? Let's see how we do here. All right, we're coming in. Coming in. I see our landing up there. I'm lined up pretty well. Not too bad. But this isn't about judging me. It's about judging the game. Everything's good. I'm not having any jitters, any wind, turbulence issues or anything like that. I've got the wind turned down to like 2 miles per hour. There really shouldn't be any major issues there. Here we go, coming in. This actually isn't too bad of a landing. I'm coming in pretty hot. Here we go. Not too bad, though. It's a nice long runway. I got plenty of time to stop. And touchdown. All right, not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Rolling along. We going taxi. Taxi! Okay, here's where I lose it a little bit. Yeah, I am steering the... I don't have foot pedals, so I'm doing it with the rudder. Yeah, it's just... It's not great. But here you go. Now, as we pull off on the taxiway, let's take a look a little bit at the airport and see what we've got here. Coming in pretty hot. Coming in pretty hot. But that's all right. I'm not judging the airport graphics too much. It's definitely going to probably look a little bit better in 2024, but this does not look bad to me. This looks actually quite good. The trees, again, look great to me. Fantastic. Here we are outside the plane, and there we go. That's Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in virtual reality. Now, let's compare it to 2024. All right. Let's make this happen. Whew, all right. The UI in 2024 I am liking. I really like this zoom in that it does. That is really cool. I love that. But, you know, that's not why we play Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's not about those things. They're nice touches, but this is where the rubber meets the road. Rubber of the wheels as they leave that runway. Here we go. All right, we're taking off here. All right, now look at this. All right, so I'm already noticing this just... this looks more washed out to me. It shouldn't be a brighter day. I didn't have it on live weather, so this is what it's picking for this. I did pick around the same time of year, I believe, so that, you know, that could be a little bit of a difference, but I've noticed that everything in 2024 looks a little bit more washed out to me. And again, I'll take a look at some settings and see if there's anything to do there. All right, so as we're taking off here, I'm already noticing just the feel of things don't feel quite as good. On the plane itself, things are stuttering a little bit more. My frame rate doesn't feel nearly as solid. I don't know if that's coming through in the video from what I'm seeing here. Excuse the assists that are popping up. I apparently, or the visual assists that it's giving. I shouldn't have any assists on the flying of the plane itself, but I forgot to disable those apparently in 2024. But here we go. We're taking off, same spot. Everything looks brighter and just more washed out to me, but and I'm seeing just the frame rate is just not as good. Also, the plane seems to be fighting me a bit. Now, this is something that I've read in some forums that other people are having problems with, especially in the career mode. I'm not in career mode here, though. I'm just in free flight. But the trees, the landscape and everything does not look markedly better to me. And here we're streaming this from the cloud. With 2024, that's their big selling point, which I question how much of a selling point that is. I hope that eventually it will be, but right now I think that's something that's kind of holding it back, because they have such a huge world here with it that supposedly is so much more detailed that it's almost impossible to get it on anybody's computer. So they're doing it through streaming, whereas on the 2020 version, that basically is living on my computer for the most part, with only slight things being streamed. And I think that's a difference. See, look at the stuttering there of that. It's not as good. Also, looking at the road, I'm not noticing any moving cars. Now, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe that's a setting I have somewhere, but I've noticed moving cars when I've been flying in 2024 up to this point, and I haven't changed anything. So I don't know what's going on there, but the road does not look alive. It just has cars that are just kind of images that are stuck in there. I'm having this slight sense of deja vu. Like I've been here before. But my memory of what it was before is better than this. It just doesn't feel as smooth. It doesn't feel as smooth for the plane. It doesn't feel as smooth for the graphics. But we are flying. We're flying. You know, it's wonderful to be flying, but I gotta tell you, after doing this side-by-side test, 2020 is a much better experience for me. Now here I'm going to show you a little bit of, just to verify my settings, running with always enabled on the Space Warp, running at 72 hertz there. I did up it maybe to 90 here. No, I kept it at 72. And running at godlike status, that's the same thing that I was running for 2020 as well. I just wanted to verify nothing had changed. And this is what I'm getting. Now, granted, I could bump that down from godlike in the virtual desktop settings and things like that, and I will play with that, but apples to apples, 2020 is running far better for me in Microsoft Flight Simulator on the PC in virtual reality. There's just no question, no comparison to me right now. Even if the graphics were better, I'm not noticing it because the experience overall is not as strong, with the stutters, the plane fighting me a bit, all of those things. So I'm hoping those things will be fixed going forward. Am I regretting spending the 70 whatever dollars in order to get this? I got the basic version. I'm not regretting it yet. I'm sure they will work this out and it will be amazing, because I want to do that career mode more. I tried the career mode a little bit. I was getting frustrated with the turbulence issue and things like that, so I didn't play it very long, but I want that career mode. I want to go out there and see animals. I want to walk around in the real world, things that you can't do in 2020. So I'm hoping that they will get this fixed, but for right now, the consensus for me is I'm going to keep flying in 2020, I think. I think I'm going to take a break from 2024. I have probably 10, 12 hours into 2024 just trying to get it running better and playing a bit of the career mode to get a feel for it. And popping back into 2020 for the first time since 2024 dropped today for this video, it was a breath of fresh air. I was like, this is what it should feel like. This feels so good. It feels so good. And that's why we fly, is it feels good, right? So let me know in the comments, how are you feeling? Have you played 2020 before? Are you in 2024 now and having less issues than I'm having? Are you having the same issues? Are you playing in virtual reality or are you playing flat screen? My understanding is people that are playing flat screen are having a better experience overall than virtual reality potentially, but I want to hear from you. Please comment below. And again, if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. It makes a huge difference to more people seeing this video and hopefully getting some ideas from it. Hopefully it helped you and it will help others as well. And please subscribe to this channel as well, but only do it if you feel you got value from this video. Whether watching this goofy face talking and you found it entertaining in some way, or hopefully you got a little bit of knowledge. And we're coming in for a landing here. That's going to be a great way to end this video. Let's fly in. Come on, 2024. We're flying in. It's not quite as smooth. It's a little rocky, but that's okay. I'm going to blame it on the simulator, not on my flying abilities. Oh, here we come. Here we come. Ooh, flying. We are flying. And, okay. Ooh, boom. Oh, that was a little bumpier. That one hurt my bottom. That one hurt my bum a little bit. I'm not going to lie. All right, but you know what? Let's finish this by going and taking a look at the airport. See how it compares. Yeah, what more can I say? Microsoft Flight Simulator, you know what? I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here, all right? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that ultimately this is going to be a good thing for us, that it's going to be an improved experience over 2020. But for me right now, in virtual reality, the money is still in 2020. All right, the airport does look pretty good. I think there's a little bit more aircraft possibly. I'm coming in, I think, on a different side of the airport here. The details do look a little like there's a little bit more detail to the airport and so forth, but I don't know. Anyway, this is Jolly Julian. That's enough of this thing coming at you. Just jump in and fly. Whatever you're going to do, just get in there and fly and have a great time. We'll talk to you on the next video.